Habits are easier to abandon today than tomorrow. That is a proverb, and in our series Words of Wisdom, today we're talking about habits, the power of them, what it is we can do to create habits that steer us into where it is that we really want to be, where it is we want to go in life. So habits are a massive part of that. 40%, actually over 40% of what you do, the actions that you have in any given day are not conscious decisions, but they're habits. So it's our brain's way of increasing efficiency for us. And habits are a huge part of our life. And a lot of the time we don't even notice it. So today we're going to talk about habits, how to really utilize the power of habit in your life for creating what it is you want in life. My name is Tally. I'm a life and personal development coach, and I work with leaders to create lives of overflowing impact in the world centered in a place of joy. Helping you in places like this, helping my clients, whether it's team coaching or private coaching, really look at what are mindsets that they have that keep them from where they want to go, or habits that they're creating in their life that are actually working against them, not for them. So habits are a big part of it. Today we're going to talk about that. So one of the things I want to say, we did a workshop this last weekend. So we had about 30 leaders come together and really look at goals. We did a year in review. We did life clarity assessment. And one of the pieces, anytime that you have a goal, the way that you're going to accomplish it is in huge part by the habits that you set up in place to get yourself there. So that's one of the things. And then I've got some examples from some private clients this week. There's a lot that has been coming up this week about habits. So I was in a Toastmasters group yesterday, and one of the pieces of it was all around habits. And then it's come up with 3 different clients in the last 2 days, and I had the workshop. So I was like, let's just talk about habits. I did an entire series back a while ago. I think it was called Success Habits because I was reading a book about it. So there's a lot more in that, but I want to touch in on it again right now, first of the year, as we are kind of in this place of wanting to focus on goals, focus on where it is we want to go this year. Habits are just a massive part of that, of contributing to that outcome. So let's talk about when you have bad habits, like replacing bad habits with good habits is where it's at. Just stopping a habit is really challenging. But if you can take something that isn't working, if you just kind of can look through life, that's one of the things we did at the workshop, is did a life clarity assessment. So you can really see, like, where am I actually, honest inventory with every area of my life. And you can see what's working and not working. And when you can look at what are the things that are not working and how can we shift those into something that works for me, that is contributing to getting me where I want to go in whatever area of life it is, whether it's your finances or your health or your relationships or your career, whatever it is, like, what can I do to shift habits that are working against me to become habits that are working for me? So if you can begin to replace that, and it takes about, they say 66 days to really integrate a new habit. But if you can shift from what's not working to what is working, powerful. So a client I was talking to this morning, he's like, man, I am just, like, I'm so focused on my business, and he's killing it. Man, we've just seen some tremendous growth in starting a new business, and in 14 months, like, just amazing results. And he loves to get to his desk, and he can't wait to get to work in the morning. So it's all really good things. But he's like, man, I just keep finding that I am not getting the amount of calories in a day that I need to maintain the weight that I want to be at. And I just, like, I will find myself, it's 2 o'clock, and I'm just so engrossed in my work that I haven't even eaten anything yet. So he's like, I think I need to create a habit of, before I sit down at my desk, getting a smoothie that has like 900 calories in it, so I get off to the start of a day, because I can't get to like 3,000 calories by the end of the day if I'm not starting until 2 o'clock. So that's a habit for him. He's gonna make this smoothie that has all this good stuff in it and a lot of calories that he wants to have before he sits down at his desk in the morning. So that's like a habit that he's integrating. Another thing is taking, whenever you have kind of a vague goal, sometimes it's hard to know how to make that thing measurable. So for another client, we were working on actually career and calling in her area, and she's like, man, she wants to pivot from what she's doing and transition into something new that really is a lot more passionate and purposeful for her. So that was her goal, was I want to spend more time in my life steering my actions and my time toward purposeful, passionate, like, calling and really explore that until I really figure out what it is. So it's like, awesome, but that's not that measurable. It's kind of like, I just want to spend more time. Like, how are you going to know at the end of a week whether you did or didn't do that thing? And so making it measurable. So we were talking about, like, let's create some habits that you begin to put into your week that are going to steer you toward that. Because that's not very measurable, but we can put habits in place that are measurable. And so we looked at her schedule, we looked at her time, we looked at what she's putting toward the career she's in now, and her family and her health and some of the other things, and like, where can we carve out an extra 5 hours a week that you can just move some of these things forward. And she's got an action plan for some things that she can do that will start steering her into that. So we basically just put on her calendar like 5 different hours in her week that she's going to sit down, and she figured out what she had to displace to make that happen. She's going to have 2 different meals during the week that somebody else is preparing, so that carves out some of that time, and then some weekend time. So she figured out where it could actually work, where she's setting herself up for success, and she has a list of things that she can work on, the things she's going to move forward. She's going to create these packages and make these offerings and write this email and create her branding, and she's got some things she's going to do to move it forward in her list. And now she has 5 hours carved out, and she's started texting me, I did my first hour, it feels amazing, it feels really, really great to be actually like putting the like traction to this thing and making it happen. So whenever you have kind of a vague sense of where you want to go, or a more of a vague goal, if you can put tangible, measurable habits to that thing that will have you sitting down doing whatever it is, then like that's super, super supportive. So creating the habits. So for her, it's around time. For the first person, it's around, getting that smoothie in. In Toastmasters, some of the examples that people gave were, I just noticed that I am not getting the sleep that I need, and that like it starts to take a toll. So for her, it's setting an alarm and getting to bed by a certain time so that she can be up and ready. For somebody else, it's, I know that I do better working out if I make sure that I'm doing it with someone. And so creating times throughout the week that they are going to go running with someone. And another thing is putting something on the calendar that they're training for. So for one of the people, it was, they're going to run the New York Marathon. And so putting that, getting signed up for that, and then reverse engineering what needs to happen to be able to qualify, and by when, and what do I need to do that. So it's reverse engineering it, and then putting the habits in place where I'm going to go running with this person, I'm going to do 10 miles this many days a week, like putting a plan together where you're creating that habit where you get up and you run however many days it is. So creating the habits is so crucial to creating what it is that we want. So for them, ultimately, like running the marathon is about having better health, increasing endurance. It's not as much about the marathon. That's just something to put on the calendar that they'll train for, that they'll get ready for, that they've got in the books, and then creating the habits to be able to do that thing. So that's another little key to shifting what isn't working to what is working, getting clear about what you want, and then putting the habits in place in order to create that. So that's some of what I wanted to talk about today. Just looking at my, takeaway for you is, look at, when you just think about habits in your life, think of one habit that you feel like, this is not serving me. This keeps getting me a result that I don't want. I don't want this in my life anymore. And look at how you can shift it to something that will work for you. Like, what do I want instead, and how am I going to get there? So blessings to you. Hope this is supportive. We'll be back again tomorrow with more words of wisdom, and I look forward to being with you then. Until then, just begin shifting habits that aren't working into habits that are working, and I hope that really serves you in this new year to begin creating a life that you want to live.